Hey everyone, it's Leo Young, and this is a reinstallment of Impressive Talks and Thoughts. This is basically a end of the week vlog where I pretty much discuss everything that's going on throughout the entire week. So without further ado, let's get right, as Keemstar would say, into the news. So right off the bat, I want to talk about yesterday's New Mutants trailer. And I believe earlier this week, Marvel had the Thor Ragnarok trailers for the Hulk. So right off the bat, Marvel, Fox, and maybe even Sony are really hitting the ball right now. The way all of it works out, the way it's all looking, it's just mind-blowing. Like, oh my goodness. I can't say anything about DC because they did release the Heroes trailer. And that was pretty interesting. That's the Justice League Heroes trailer. And that was pretty interesting. I'm very excited to see it, and I definitely will see it. However, the reason I'm putting so much focus on Marvel is because Marvel has more properties that are coming out, such as Deadpool 2, as you've seen the images of Cable, Domino, and Deadpool. And then there is also Legion, which will be coming back soon, I believe. And then Gifted. All this week, though, DC did have the CW shows, Supergirl, Flash, and Arrow. And for those of you who are wondering or have seen that Arrow is no longer on Wednesday, I believe they are putting Black Lightning to take Arrow's spot Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. And the reason that Arrow was moved to Thursday to 9 o'clock was because there really was no one taking that spot. Because I believe the second half of Legends of Tomorrow's Season 2 was moved to Tuesday, 9 o'clock, which means right after The Flash at 8 o'clock, it would be Legends of Tomorrow. So Arrow was moved to Thursday at 9 o'clock because once there's a specific time that a show or movie, well, a show can be broadcast, and then like the later it is, the darker, the more aggressive and brooding the content can be, such as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D's last season, how the very first episode you saw that giant splatter of blood from the Ghost Rider. So that's the outcome making sure that the video is still going. That's the outcome of Arrow being moved to Thursday at 9 o'clock. Now, as for the shows themselves, the CW shows, they were pretty okay. I was. If you've read the review I posted on our website about The Flash, the first episode really wasn't anything special. It was them bringing back the Flash, and it's really nothing special. It's just like Flashpoint. It's just one event that takes over like one episode, and then the rest of the season is normal. So that's fine. I'd feel more interested or invested if Wally was the Flash for like the rest of the season. Not the rest of the season, but like the first quarter of the season. So basically because there's no quarter at this point. So basically up until December. So yeah, I guess the first half of the season I would have been fine with Wally wearing the Flash suit. Well, not the Flash suit, because we actually saw him in it and he looked a little weird. I would have been down with him being the Flash up until the half of the season. That way it's like, oh, Wally is a little bit, I don't know, you get what I'm saying though, because there's a new villain who's not a speedster, and so far Wally's track record with fighting speedsters has been bad with Savitar. So I think it would have been more interesting to see that Wally's main villain, his first main villain, is more of a mental opponent rather than a physical opponent. Then Supergirl was okay. Supergirl was, like I said, following the footsteps of her predecessors. Every season, the hero is a little bit more darker, or at least like depressing. Supergirl's whole first episode was just about her getting over her boyfriend's being taken away, which she did, and really she's like, oh, I'd rather be Supergirl than Kara Danvers, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. But I'm kind of bored of seeing all this depressive stuff. I know that there's depression in a superhero landscape, but it's not that it's there. It's where they place it. They always place it in the exact same location. And then Arrow was great. I love the first episode. Once again, though, they're playing with the idea of Green Arrow being exposed to the public. And for me, as a person who's read the comic books, I really don't care that much. Because in the old continuity, Green Arrow was an open, I believe he was a left or a right wing. I think he was a left wing. He was an open superhero. Everybody knew that the mayor of Star City was Green Arrow, aka Oliver Queen. So in my mind, I'm like, it's taken them this long to finally admit that he is Oliver Queen. Finally. But no, they're trying to hide it. But at least you can't hide it anymore. It's like, let's just go into it. Let's see how it works. But they've gone so far because now that he has a son, he really can't do it. So, you know, whatever. Legends of Tomorrow, I didn't even watch. Oh my goodness gracious. I couldn't stand how Legends of Tomorrow season 2 ended, because I believe, and not even just season 2, but like some of the plot of the show, because of how they used the Justice Society. Like, they didn't add Hawkgirl or Hawkman at all in it, even if their actors weren't in it. There's like the Justice Society was just a bunch of people without superpowers. Obsidian was the only individual with superpowers, and then friggin' Rip Hunter's sending them across the Justice. It's a mess. They could have gone so much better with the season. Like Legends of Tomorrow, everyone's like, oh, I like the show. It's the funny show. Ha ha ha. And it's like, I liked Legends of Tomorrow season 1 for a bit. I stopped watching like 75% way through because, you know, I kind of stopped watching TV. But season 2, I tried to watch it. Like, the first episode was good, and then I continued following through, and then I was like, I'm seeing like issues here, issues that can be fixed. So whatever. Like the Legends, I guess I should look it up. Did the Legends ever go into like the future to find why Rip made the Time Bureau? Because it's like Rip comes in the opening and it's like, oh, I made a Time Bureau, and the Legends are like, you've been gone for a few minutes, and Rip's like, I spent the last 5 years doing this. So you would think, oh, why don't they just go a year after what happened, find Rip and go like, what are you doing? Because there's definitely something that's being hidden, but I won't know until much later. Like, but yeah. Then how the Legends are all like, Sarah Lance loses the Wave Rider. What does she do? She goes works at Bath Body and Beyond, or Beauty Bed and something, whatever. And then it's like, in my mind, I'm like, why are you doing this? You can just go back to Star City and be a vigilante there, living with Arrow and all that. You don't need to be doing this. Like, come on now. Now, Ray, on the other hand, I don't know how the business world works. Ray did give his company away to Felicity, which then ran into the ground. I would personally think that Ray would try his best to revive it, you know? Like with the help of Star Labs or something. I don't know, really. Maybe even hint in Ted Industries or Cord Industries. That way it's like, hey, Ted, I don't know if they're going to, like, I wonder if they're going to use the young version of Ted Cord or the older version. So they'll be like, hey, Ted. And it's like, hand me a bit, hand me like a couple million. And Ted's like, oh yes, a short donation of a couple million. That should do you will. And just go from there. As for everything else, it's just like, it's whatever. All right. I believe the Legends could probably have led a normal life, except for McRory. Rory, he's definitely not going to become a villain again, just due to the fact that he A, did not go back to Central City, B, did not continue his villainy, and is not a thief anymore, and C, Snart is gone. So, you know, it's whatever. Next topic. The New Mutants. I know I really went off rampant, but I wanted to explain the DC issue. Not the DC issue, but like the reason I didn't put so much focus on the DC news this week. Marvel, on the other hand, Marvel and Fox. I can't say Sony. I don't know what Sony's up to. Still looking for information on the next Spider-Man movie, though, because it's like Spider-Man Homecoming did really well, so I can believe that Sony probably has plans for Spider-Man, which is kind of weird because Spider-Man, Sony has like all these different plans for Venom the movie, Carnage the movie, Silver and Black. And if you don't know what Silver Black is, it's a Black Cat and Silver Sable movie. If you don't know who Silver Sable is, I don't blame you. She's a very small character. First time I ever heard of her was in the, I believe, either Ultimate Spider-Man the video game, or Ultimate Spider-Man the video game, or the Amazing Spider-Man TV show from the 1990s. That's the only time I think I ever heard of Silver Sable. She's a mercenary, which kind of matches up with whatever. But as for, sorry about that, but as for, I don't know what they're doing for I guess Sony handles all their other stuff and Spider-Man is handled by Marvel, which I'm totally fine with. Take your time, don't rush them out. Now, first off, Thor Ragnarok, there is a scene where Chris Hemsworth, an interview where Chris Hemsworth, the actor who plays Thor, is like, I was kind of tired of Thor. He was born, and then Thor Ragnarok comes. From the looks of it, in my opinion, this is phase 3, I believe. Phase 4, in my opinion, is going to be like the over-the-top phase. Not like, oh, we're going into space, but more like we're finally going to get more of a view of how the heroes are supposed to work, because you saw the trailer where Thor smashes down and there's lightning trickling off of him when Hela's like, and what are you the god of again? He's just bam, lightning, thunders. Like, that's what he is. He is the god of lightning. That is the Thor I know. Not as aggressive, not as wise, but we're gonna see. I'm hoping like that would be a very interesting like character development trait for everyone. Is like, sorry that I keep saying like, a character development trait that the past couple of phases have been trying to grow the heroes into the comic book versions that we've seen so far, because now it seems that Thor is becoming more and more powerful as time comes on. He's, as I guess you can also say, it's the editors, they're also getting better, but as time pushes on, the more and more comic book these characters are becoming. Like Captain America, when he first showed up, the most amazing thing he did was, no wait, that was in Avengers. The most amazing thing he did was handle those, really, it was just being Captain America to me. Though, as he kept on growing, his stunts were more and more extreme. Like, he flipped a bike, he was holding a helicopter with one arm, he ripped some wood in half, which is not really that amazing. Well, I guess, if you see it in real life, you're like, huh, yeah, that's pretty amazing. But as time goes on, as you can see, they are getting more and more like their comic book counterparts, and I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to work. I'm really curious to see how Captain Marvel, or Miss Marvel, not Marvel, I think, is going to work, because she's based in the 80s, so she's technically older than every other Avenger except for, is she? I wouldn't know. I guess maybe they're going to make her in the age of Tony Stark, because Tony's like 50. Oh, we're gonna have to see. Maybe she time travels. I don't know. There's just so much that's going on. Like, they're making movies in phase 3. Wait, is Captain Marvel in phase 3 or phase 4? I think she's in phase 4. Never mind. Just, I'll throw that out. The movies are amazing. I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen. I heard that Marvel is going to start addressing like their continuity errors. And let me tell you something. If Marvel was to go like, oh, there's continuity errors? I wonder who's conquering our timeline. I would... King the Conqueror, basically. I would blow my mind. They go like, we've purposely been messing up timeline content. We've purposely been making continuity errors because someone is going through the timeline and changing things up. That would be like, it's King the Conqueror. King the Conqueror is... That would be the perfect next villain. We have space, next we have time. That would blow my mind. But you never know. Maybe Marvel's not going to do that. Maybe the next villain of the Marvel universe is going to be... I don't know. It's going to be hard. I mean, my personal opinion, and I don't want to be rude to Marvel, but Fox has some of your greatest threats. They have Galactus. They have the Silver Surfer. They have Doctor Doom. They have the Skrull. No, wait. Like, I can't really say aliens because it was Gunn. David Gunn. I don't remember the director of. I know his last name is Gunn. The director of Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. He basically came out and said, "I wanted to use Ego." Then Marvel says, "Fox owns Ego, the planet." And then they have a deal, and Fox is like, "Yeah, you can use Ego." And it turns out like a lot of the space creatures are owned by, the people you wouldn't think. So apparently, I guess Marvel has always owned the Skrulls, but Fox has the Super Skrull, which wouldn't make any sense because without, the Fantastic Four, without the entire idea of Skrulls, Super Skrull wouldn't exist. It'd just be a giant green beast. I wouldn't hold it against Fox at this point to do that. And without, you don't really need the Super Skrull for the Skrulls. You can just have them shape shifting and all that. So I'm about to say maybe that takes away their ability to take on their the person they're copying's powers. You know what I mean? Like if Super Skrull's the one who can, but whatever. It seems to be whatever. The New Mutants. The New Mutants is the main issue, not the main issue. Jesus, I'm waiting for a guess. I'm very sorry. The New Mutants is the trailer that kind of changed my view of how Fox is going, because I went down in the comment section of the New Mutants, and a lot of people were like, "This sucks. I don't want a horror movie," or "This looks like some, what's the word, amateur video, some fake fan made video," and I was like, just fucking suck it up and like it. You don't. First of all, most of you don't even know who the New Mutants are. You're just saying that because it's Fox and their deal with X-Men. So far, what Fox has shown me is, if they are allowed to not do X-Men, they do good. They do. Fox did amazing with Deadpool. I'm very curious to see how they're going to do Deadpool 2. And I'm pretty sure they're going to kill the game. They killed the game with Legion. I watched like one episode of Legion, I was like, I'm hooked. I watched like the 4th episode, and I was like, I want to keep seeing where this goes. And then Gifted comes along, and I'm like, where was this? But the one thing Fox keeps trying to freaking hide is the X-Men. I know I just said the one thing when they're not doing X-Men they're good, but they keep hiding the X-Men. I'm so freaking upset. The reason I'm upset about it is because they keep hiding the X-Men in the weirdest ways possible. It's like Gifted's just like the X-Men disappeared, along with the Brotherhood. Let me tell you, if an extinction level event happened, or a 9/11 event, I don't think the Brotherhood would go missing. Not for long. Not that long, at least. They would definitely come back because they do not care. The X-Men, I could not see the X-Men missing. So I believe maybe someone moved them. Maybe someone moved them. Maybe this is like a sequel to Legion. Like, as Legion gets older, then one day he fights the X-Men and he moves them out of time and out of the universe. So they're basically, they're still there. They're just like frozen outside of the timeline or outside of the universe. So nothing's really changed. While we've moved 5 years, they're still 5 years younger. So maybe that'll work because, excuse me, maybe that'll work. Legion having Charles Xavier, that would kind of change up the deal, but we'll see. I do know that it is rumored that James McAvoy will, well, not James McAvoy, but Professor X will be in New Mutants, so I'm kind of curious how to see that work. Maybe it's going to be like flashbacks because of the way the New Mutants trailer works. I know I'm all over the field with it, but that's because Fox is all over the field with where their mutants are. They have, at this point, 5 X-Men franchises. They have X-Men, New Mutants, Deadpool, Legion, and Gifted. I'm sorry. That's 5 at the moment. From the looks of it, they also want to do X-Force. Now, the reason I say they also want to do is because I don't know if Deadpool 3 would be X-Force or they're just going to do X-Force itself. But from the look, for some reason, it seems like Deadpool's not going to be in X-Force 3, which, if he is, I hope they get Ryan Reynolds, because if they don't, then they have another universe X-Men. And it's kind of like what DC is doing with their movies, how there's now going to be another Joker, and I don't know if Batman's in that one. It's basically going to be the multiverse. They're creating, what I fear they're going to do is they're going to create a new Batman and a new Joker movie, so they don't have to, like, if they fail like the main one, they can jump over this one. But if this one is doing better than the main one, like the main one's still good but this one's doing better, they'll keep on growing out. Like, oh, this universe has its own Justice League. So I'm worried that Fox may do the same thing with all these other franchises they have. It's like, oh, Deadpool has his own Colossus, his own X-Men, and then so on and so forth, because because that Colossus looked nothing like the main X-Men Colossus, and that's fine and everything, but the problem with that is, I keep saying this every freaking time I get crap for it, that Colossus cannot stay in metal form constantly, no matter what. It'd be weird. Like, if there was an X-Men movie without that without Deadpool, and that Colossus is there, like, what is going to happen then? Is he just going to constantly be in metal form? He sits down, is like, Colossus, because X-Men is not strongly a comedic movie. So that's Deadpool's section. So it makes you wonder. Speaking of Colossus, magic. Actually, no, there's really nothing about magic. The new X-Men are pretty. I'm kind of interested to see how that goes. The new X-Men or young mutants. Crap, I can't believe I forgot New Mutants. I'm sorry. New X-Men is something else. The New Mutants, a horror film. That's all. That's all I gotta say about it. It's like I don't really know where they can go with that. If it's gonna be, because don't forget, if like from what I'm saying, the way I'm saying it, it's going to be their horror film. So where is the next one going to go? Is each New Mutant going to be a horror movie? I don't think so. I think the next one's just going to be action, because they're going to see how the New Mutants hold up. If they can hold up in horror, maybe they can hold up in action, because then the next one is like, oh, we are with the X-Men, and as time goes on, Deadpool's like, oh, I'm hanging out with the X-Men, and then the X-Force is under the watchful eyes of Wolverine, who's also in the X-Men, and then, you know, Legion finally leads up to the X-Men, and then Gifted is tied in with the movies of the X-Men. I know I said X-Men a lot. I just like hearing me say it. I do not think the movies and the comics can be connected. I mean, the TV can be connected. It's all changed because of the Logan movie. In my opinion, the creation of the Logan movie, though a good ending, it was the ending of Logan, as well as the X-Men, I guess, but mainly Logan. And the reason I didn't like it is because right before Logan was Days of Future Past, where the universe was going to be destroyed. Okay, cool. Not the universe, but like all of mutant kind was going to be destroyed. Okay, cool. And then all of a sudden it's like it's all saved. Switch over to Logan around the same time. Oh, 3 years later. Oh, most of you mutants are dead. The X-Men are dead. Charles is mentally dead. So it just kept on going down, down. Baby, are you down, 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 down? Just like that. Other than that, though, I really can't think of anything else. I just wanted to talk mainly about the whole X-Men, Marvel, DC, DC TV, Marvel TV, and all that. I've yet to see any of the Netflix shows, so I don't know how that's gonna go. I do know that Luke Cage and Iron Fist are working together in Luke Cage season 2. So, from how that sounds, Heroes for Hire, anyone? Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I just remember the whole Szechuan McDonald's thing from earlier. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I know there are some people who don't really keep up with this or watch Rick and Morty. Or if you are a McDonald's worker and you still don't know what's going on. The deal with it is, let me just rehash it. Back in April, I believe, Rick and Morty season 3, I believe we're in season 3 right now. Rick and Morty season 3 episode 1 aired, The Rickshaw Redemption. And basically at the end, not even the end and the beginning, Rick references Szechuan Mulan chicken dipping sauce. Szechuan Mulan teriyaki and dipping sauce, alright? And he's like, oh, I'm doing all this, I'm killing people, I'm destroying planets, it's all for that Szechuan Mulan teriyaki and dipping sauce. Done. A couple months later, like, man, I can't remember. I'm losing my mind. A couple months later, McDonald's comes out and says, "Oh, we're kind of interested." Not McDonald's. I'm sorry. Everyone kind of comes out and goes like, "Oh, we're kind of interested in it. Let's see how far we can push it. Let's tweet at McDonald's. Let's start petitions." I've seen a petition that had like, I think it was 100,000 votes to bring back the dipping sauce. It is at 94,000 last time I checked. I checked on Sunday. So it could have stopped because Saturday, I believe. I checked on Monday. It could have stopped because the Saturday, so 2 days before that Monday, McDonald's released the dipping sauce, October 7th, I believe. I can't check, that'd be kind of rude, even though I burped on camera. McDonald's released the dipping sauce. And the problem with that is, I'm just gonna like I'm just gonna tell you what I wrote in the article. McDonald's heard the cries of probably millions of people. Like the study shows that 11 million people saw that one episode of Rick mentioning the dipping sauce. 11 million. McDonald's hears the cries of millions of people all over America asking for that dipping sauce. So what do? They finally they answered the cries. They send dipping sauce off to McDonald's all across America. Only problem is didn't send enough. Some McDonald's had around, I would say 10, some had 70. I think the most I heard was 90 packets of that dipping sauce in one. The rest of them had probably lower, so it's between 10 and a million, 10 and 90. Probably some had 0. So all around, there's like millions of people all around America going to McDonald's, going, I want the dipping sauce. People taking videos of themselves acting like fools. People taking videos of entire McDonald's crowds chanting. The police were called, and it's ridiculous because there are McDonald's workers who probably are like in their 50s and they're like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why these people are here flipping out, freaking out on us because they want some sauce. And it's like, calm down. I just want to go home. I have this is a side job. I'm not doing this for real. I'm not doing this for, you know, a main payment. This is just something to help me get through while I'm taking care of my kid. And then like all of a sudden some dude, and I'm not showing you here, this is the actual video, some dude comes in to the McDonald's, gets on top of the cash, not the cash register, but the counter, starts screaming, ah, where is my sauce? Puts his shirt over his head. I think he jumps on the floor. He definitely jumps on the floor. He gets on the floor and he starts screaming, I'm Pickle Rick. He's like, I'm Pickle Rick. And I'm like, why? What do you get out of it? If you're watching this, what do you get out of that? Like, I'm hoping that he has an actual issue. Like, really, because if you went in there, no mask, face out, screaming, where is my sauce? Like, someone's gonna recognize you. Like, I know him. I wouldn't say fire him. Put him on a blacklist. If he ever like applies for us, never let him through. And it's really disturbing. Like, people are willing to take a joke that far. And let me read you something. Let me read you a statement actually told to, I believe, Eaters Weekly by Justin Roiland, the co-creator of Rick and Morty. What he said about the Szechuan, Mulan, teriyaki, and dipping sauce. Alright, I'm back. I just want to make sure it's understood. This is Entertainment Weekly, not Eaters Weekly. Eaters Weekly is what I used to find out what it was made out of, the sauce. Right now, I'm about to read you what co-creator Dan Harmon, not Justin Roiland. Justin had his own thing to say, but he said it on Twitter. This is what co-creator Dan Harmon said about the sauce itself. I personally thought it was a sauce that was trying too hard in a world where with McNugget sauce, you just want something to taste like honey or like barbecue sauce. It was a sauce that was trying to prove it was different, and doing so, it worked harder than a sauce should. It was working too hard to be a sauce. Basically, it's a sauce that's doing too much. Where sauce you just want, it tastes like barbecue, a little bit like honey mustard and other stuff, but really it's not that great. Dan Harmon himself said it. I don't know how Justin Roiland views it, but really I was not around, or I don't have memory of when the sauce was originally made or released, so I don't really know what the sauce would have tasted like. But from the description of everything, yeah, it kind of came off like honey mustard or barbecue, or just, it's basically what Dan Harmon says. It's trying too hard to be a sauce. And that is about all the information that I kind of want to go over this entire week. Last thing I want to talk about, though, is the channel itself. This is a Talks and Thoughts. If you remember, a Talks and Thoughts was where I gave my opinion on everything. Now I'm just going to do them on Saturdays. It's going to be basically a week thing where I talk about, at the end of every week, I go over the news and all that, everything noteworthy, and we just talk about it. I just give my own personal opinion, and every Saturday. No set time though. So right now we are also trying to figure out a schedule for our video release. We're thinking about maybe Monday and Wednesday, and have a written article, at least 2 a week randomly. We don't know, we're not 100% sure yet, but we're figuring out all the kinks. That's why we want your feedback, so we can know if we're making videos too long, if the brightness of the videos is too low, if the audio is too high, just anything like that. So if you could, though, mind dropping the like button, lick the like button, just lick it up, lick it good. Oh, that sounded so much better in my head. Just hit the like button if you want to, though, and keep getting updated with whenever we post a video. Hit the subscriber button to get access to our notification gong. If you want to, you can also go to the website to review written articles such as What You Don't Knows and the review of The Flash. A couple of news articles I believe we have up already. One of them is the Rick and Morty Szechuan chicken sauce, Szechuan teriyaki dipping sauce, sorry. But other than that, we're still working out. If you have a What You Don't Know or a news piece that you think you would be interested in writing, or at least sending in to us, you can go to our website. There will be a submit button. You can click there. You totally don't have to. That's fine. We can find our own stuff to do. But if you would like to just help out and be a little bit kind about it, we will definitely throw you a shout out. Even though we have like 46 subscribers, we can still do something nice for you as much as we can. Anyways, so I'm Leo Young. Thanks for the week. Definitely will be seeing you next week, of course. And I'm out. Don't forget to stay impressive. Peace.